Hi, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining this video, and if you're new, you're welcome. In this video, we'll be designing this sales and customer reports from scratch. So I'll be splitting the video into two. The first one for sales report and the second for customer. The dataset is from Lita Capstone project. It is a project for data analysis certification exam, and the bootcamp ended few months ago. So I decided to do a tutorial video on how I worked on the project, and for people that had difficulties building their Power BI dashboards, this is like the place to learn how to do that. And if you want to be your first Power BI project, this is also the place. So this is the sales report, then the second one is the customers report. So this is like basically what we have, and I feel like this customers report really explains what customers do, and the subscription type, the regions, the revenues they generated by subscriptions that have the highest revenues, and the location and region that has the highest revenues as well. Then we have the top five customers, the revenue trend. I'll just show you how much interactiveness this dashboard has before we go into the tutorial. So now I'm filtering for basic subscription type only, and as you can see that throughout the month of December there was no basic subscription type, and the revenues, the regions that had the highest revenues, it was just 8 east and north that has the revenues, and 30% cancelled, 70% did not cancel on their subscription. So that's basically what we're doing. It's a very interactive dashboard and very easy to build. So this is a blank workbook, and we're just going to learn from scratch. So first things first, we can always get our data from this part, and we can also get our data from this get data part. So they are like the same thing, different angles of the screen. So we'll just click on this get data, and to bring out the options, there are tons of options you can get your data from. You can get it from any angle. In as much as there is a database, you can run an analysis from it, right? So we are using an Excel workbook because the database we are using today is saved as an Excel workbook. Although there were like a little bit of cleaning done on Excel, but I believe we should be able to do that on Power BI as well. So this is the data set. I'll put the link to the data set in my description box. I'll save it as a Google document so everybody will have access to it to use for practice. So we're meant to have the option to load both data, but I don't know, I feel like because it's still loading, that's why we cannot load the two workbooks at once. But we'll just work with our customer dashboard first. Instead of sales dashboard, I wanted to actually do the sales dashboard first, but I changed my mind along the line. So we'll just transform data first because we need to do some cleaning with the database. So data cleaning and transformation of data happens in the Power Query editor, where the cursor is pointing at right now. And I think I've explained what all these parameters mean, and if you want me to also make another video explaining what the old parameters and features of Power BI, you can just drop it in the comment section. I did something like that for Excel, Microsoft Excel, recently, I think a few days ago, so you can check that out as well. So this is what we have. You can just like refresh the data. First thing we want to do is remove duplicate data because we do not want repetitions. So we'll just Control A and to Control click on all the columns, click on reduce rows. So you have the options of keeping some rows and removing some rows. choosing the one you want to keep and the one you want to remove. So we are removing duplicate rows, right? So we just come here, click on remove duplicate rows. So the reason why I control clicked on all the column is because I don't want it to remove duplicates from just one column and exempt other columns. So now we can see that the duplicates have been removed, and that's like so far what we need. The subscriptions date is already saved as a calendar, which is very important for us to like notice, and then the revenues saved already as figures. We don't know what currency because it didn't come as a currency. We can add a currency of our choice there, but because of biases, I'll just suggest that we leave the revenue that way. And then if we look at this symbol here means calendar, this one means numeric data, this one means true and false, like data types on data analysis is like the first topic you need to learn, which this true or false means boolean. So we can see that there's been a lot of cleaning from because this project started from Excel to SQL, then Power BI. So there's been a lot of cleaning on the data set, and I just wanted to show you guys how the cleaning went. So all data types have been set correctly and duplicates have been removed. There are no blank rows, and we have our data set clean to an extent. So we'll just come to this angle here and click on close and apply. Our data has been imported successfully. So go to the insert tab or icon and click on insert, click on rounded rectangle. So you have to choose to click on just rectangle. You have to choose to click on any kind of shape you want, but for this video we're just working with this one. I clicked on normal rectangle because at the end of the day we can always like reshape it into a rounded rectangle. This is for the title and the slicers, so it doesn't have to be so big. And once you double click on a visual to prepare a Q&A, so you can just remove it. For this shape, would arrange it, just work with me guys. We like the rotation the way it is, so this is where I was talking about. You can always make the corners as round as you want it to be. So I think it is already nice like this, but I don't know about the height, but like I feel like it's okay this way. So we'll just leave it. We're still going to change the color and so on and so forth, but you can just Ctrl C and Ctrl V the visual instead of going through the stress of back and forth trying to add the image again. So this is meant to be a tall, very tall kind of visual, like not so tall, but so this should be in 3 parts. So I copied it and pasted it in 3 parts. So just drag this one to the middle. This is what we're meant to have. So because we don't have enough space to arrange, we'll just reduce this one and this one as well. We can just reduce this a little bit. So increase this so it's big enough to contain what we are going to add. Next, we are changing the color because we don't want the color to be blue, we want it to be white. So go to style and change the color to white. So this is what we want, and we also don't want it to have a blue border or anything, so just like turn off the borders. So next we'll just format our painter on the remaining visual. So click on format painter and click on this part. So as you can see, the visuals don't even have any, there's no difference between the visuals and the background, so we have to change the background. But before that, we'll just do this first. I'm not clicking on any visual right now, so I just went to this visualization pane to format the page. So I changed the background from white to, let's see, this one. and reduce the transparency to 0. So this is what we have, and I think this is okay, but I don't know. Let's try this one first. I'm really skeptical about those colors. I don't know if it's me, but I think this one is better. So we'll just try to arrange the visuals to be on the same line. The goal of a very great dashboard is accuracy. Change the color of this particular shape from white to purple, and although the color, this is the purple we have a number of purple color here, but I would prefer that we use color codes because color codes like purple better depending on the context. So let's use the one here, but you click on more colors, you just type in, you can just Google search the color codes we have for purple, but this is the one I'm using in this video, 744 EC2. And then we'll just add a title. The title should be customer report or customer dashboard, anyone you would like to use, but I'm using customer reports for this dashboard. So I'm just trying to edit the, so make the font bold. I changed the font already from the default one to the one that I think I'm comfortable with. So I just increase the font this way, and I can always drag, but let's just bring it. I just drag it this way. So we are going to change the background from white to turn it off basically, and then the text should be in white because the background is in purple, and I think white pops better. So yeah, so I've changed it to white now. It is like way better than what we had before. Click on insert, and on insert we are just going to click on image. I'm just going to add the image that I want to add. I already saved it as customer. I saved this as customer. I downloaded it online, and also like just search for customer thumbnail on Google and download the image. I added a video recently where I explained how to insert, how to get your thumbnails online. I think it's like my previous Power BI project. I want to reduce the rounded corners on the shape so that there will be enough space to add our visuals. The title should be reduced because we're adding here customer subscription type and so on and so forth, so we don't have much space to add those things. For the shape, I forgot to add that we need to format the shape so it will not overlap our visuals. So just click on this send backward, open the drop down and click on send to back so it doesn't show, and we'll do the same for the shapes. So we'll also click on send to back here as well, and for this one, like if you don't format the visual and send it to the back, there's going to be a problem when you're adding your chart. So we'll just reduce the rounded corners to 27 and apply it to the remaining ones. So you can always format painter for this one because you're not really doing anything. And the funny thing about formatting painter with this visuals, it might take it away from the formatting you did earlier. So you have to like be careful. I'm using my right arrow on my keyboard to change the rounded corner. So it's currently on 27. So the first drop down is our year drop down. So what I did is there are two dates here. So I just clicked on both. I changed it to sliders. You can see that it already like put the drop down there. So makes it really easy to understand because the subscription started in 2022 and ended in 2023, which makes it very easy. So we'll just increase the font of the values and change the title. So this format visual pane, let's change the header from year, quarter, month, and day. I just change to year and change the font from DIN or DIN to Arial Black. Go to the values and just change the values from the default font to this one. You can always change to any font you like actually, but I prefer this one. The font is too big, so that's why it's showing us. So we'll just reduce the font from just reduce it to 12. So we're trying to reduce this box. I think I mistakenly clicked on 2023. So I'm going to unclick now, then reduce the box. It's okay like this because we still have to put the region and the subscription type. This one will show as a table or as any kind of visual. Then we'll just change to slicers. We'll just drag this down to this point. We want our drop downs to be on the top. Just fit this into this box. And for this one, as you can see, let's first format painter on this visual. Format my painter on this drop down. You can see that we can't see all the values that we're meant to see. We'll just change the slicer settings from vertical list tile. You can see all values now. You can increase the values and make them bold enough because I can barely see. Okay, I think it's the color. Just change it to black now. Just drag it to the end. We'll take the background because we don't want it to be showing as white. We want it to not show background. So on the general tab, I'll just come down to effects and turn off the background. If this video is too fast for you, you can just reduce the playback speed so you would follow up, but I think I'm like slow enough for everyone to understand. So for the header, I want to change it from black to white. Then in the middle, we'll just add another drop down, subscription type, drop down. So we'll just Ctrl C and Ctrl V this. Then we'll change from region to subscription type and drag it to this point. Click on the subscription type slicer and format painter on the year slicer. This is what we have, but we want the background of our values also to be in white, right? We'll come to our format visual icon and then click on value, just add the background to it. So it has no background right now, so we'll just change the background to white. This is what we have. We're done with the title and slicers page. I love to put my title, all my drop downs and slicers on one part. So if my drop down and slicers will be at the top, I really love to arrange all of them at the top. And if I want to arrange them on the left hand side, I love to arrange them on the left hand side because that's what makes your dashboard highly interactive. And if you keep it in a part where it is not easily seen, it might have an effect on your dashboard. So moving on to the next, we'll start adding our visuals one after the other. So now we're adding cards, and the first card we'll add is for cancelled orders. The amount of people that cancelled. We click on this quick measure icon on our home tab. It will give us this calculation and suggestions with copylots. So what we want to do is select a calculation and we just click on filtered value. The base data is cancelled, right? So click on cancelled as our data. Then for filter also click on cancelled. And when we get the option of select a value, you filter for true. The value true will be filtered from our data without false. Just click on add. So we click on commit, which is this icon here. Click on this I was on 175 people who are the ones that cancelled, and you can easily change our value from table, which is this one automatically represented, to cards, this, and change it to cancelled subscriptions, because customers, this database has to do with subscription. After changing the color value, we'll just go ahead and make some changes to the background and so on. So at first we'll change, let's just first change the background into purple we used for the background is the lasso. And for visual, change the color value into white. The category label, we change the category label from this color into white as well, and make it bold enough. Then increase the font. And then one more thing, we need to make the edges round, just like we did for the first shape, the shapes we've been adding so far. So come down to effects, and under visual borders, use the color brown, because we're not even meant to like have borders, but because we want it to have rounded corners, we'll just do that. Then we'll reduce it and bring it down here. The category label is long, so we'll just reduce the font to 12, so we'll be able to reduce the box. So I think it is better now, so just drag it down to this point. Ctrl C and Ctrl V, so we don't have to go through the stress again. We'll change from this to revenue, so we know the revenue that has been gotten by some particular values. So if I filter for basic now, we see the people that under basic subscription type that cancel their subscription, and the people under basic type, the amount of revenue basic subscription type brought into the business. So that's why we just usually add cards and drop downs or slicers. So next we'll go into main visuals now, like bar charts and so on and so forth. So we had the revenue trend, which should be a line chart because it is a trend. The revenues that came in when the subscription ended, so showing as a table, right, which is meant to show as a trend, which is like a line chart instead. So we'll just fit it into this part because this is where we want it to be, and change it into a line chart. So we don't want it to show as yearly, we want it to show monthly. So this is showing like, we'll just continue drilling down. So we'll just do a little bit of formatting on this visual, and for the values on the x-axis, make sure you change your values into black so to be more readable for the stakeholders or people that want to see your dashboard. Then for y-axis, we don't need that title for even the x-axis, so we'll still go back and change it, but we'll change it for the x-axis first and change the value from ash color to black and make it bold. Go to the x-axis as well and change the title. So we're done with the labeling now because it is already readable. What we need to do now is go to the line and change it into purple because we are working with purple today in this dashboard. We'll add our shaded area, so this makes it look better. We will add markers, add data labels, everything will look very much confusing, so we won't do that. The grid lines, I personally feel like the grid lines should not be in whatever color it is, so we'll go to grid lines and change it from the color it was by default to purple. You can also change it to any color you like. Then I want it to be dashed. What we also need to change here is the title. So we just change the title from sum of revenue by month to revenue trend. Change the font because, like I said, this is the default font. You have every right to change your font from what it was by default to what you want it to look like. Turn off the background so it does not overlap. For instance, if I take it away from here now, you can see that the visual is already obstructing our rounded corners because of the background. So click on the visual and change the background from white. No, just turn off the background. It has no effect on the visual anymore. For this sum of revenue, the category label should not even be sum of revenue, it should just be revenue because it's obviously the sum. If you want it to be left just as sum of revenue, you can always leave it as well, but I don't want mine to be left that way. So this second shape will be having the revenues by subscription type and by region. First, would add revenue and subscription type, and the legend will be based on if they cancelled or not. And we'll just see what that does to our insights. So click on cancelled. It looks okay already. So we'll just Ctrl C and Ctrl V the same visual and drag it down. This is what I'm talking about, and just make sure that it is not overlapping. Then we'll change this from subscription type to region. So for this region there are no cancellations, which makes us understand that each region brings out a lot of revenues for the business and they barely cancel in the east region. So that's just what we're trying to put out, what we're driving out our insights. Let's just start doing our formatting. So for the legend, I'll bring the legend down because I want all legends to be below. Then I'll just show you guys what I'm doing to make sense by the time I'm done. So I'll drag it down bottom center, change the color from this to black, like I said, to make our visuals look better. Now that we've added the font, we need to change the colors of the visuals. So for our y-axis label, we'll change the title, we'll turn off the title because the title is already showing on the header. Now I don't want the title to be showing in two ways because they're like the same thing in the two visuals, this one and this one. So we're doing something like a trick. So for the title, we'll just, for the y-axis title, we'll turn it off and turn off the values as well because there will be data labels, right? So for the x-axis, we'll just change the title, make the values bold, and we are leaving the title there because we don't want to add a title to our visuals. You guys will see what I'm explaining very soon. So let's just focus on this project. So the title should be bold and the fonts. Can you guys see how much attention I'm paying to my fonts and basically details? Yeah, so you have to be very attentive to details as a data analyst or as a dashboard builder. Data labels, or the data our data labels to suit what we are working with. So we'll just increase the font and make it bold. That's basically what we are doing with, because we don't even know the currency. We could have changed the currency, but we don't know the currency of the data we're working with, so we'll just leave it this way. And don't forget to change the colors. Yeah, the colors. So come down to columns, and for series 1, which is false, we'll use our normal purple color. And then for series 2, we'll find another color we can use that is going to match the kind of dashboard we are designing. So just look for a color like this to use with what we are working with. Turn off the background and the title. So this is what we have. Let's just make sure it fits into this shape, this background shape. Background shape just gives the whole thing a mental picture. That's why we're using it. This is like a very updated kind of dashboard. So on a normal day, we're just meant to format painter on this visual, but we don't want repetition and we don't want misinformation. So we'll add a title to this one, and the title will be revenues. Put it in the middle of the visual so it works for all our visuals on that page. So we'll make it bold. We'll just leave it this way. And then for the legend, we don't need to put the legend on the first visual because we are applying the first visual to the second. So we'll turn off the legend, and now we can see that the revenue by subscription type for basic is 24 million for the people that did not cancel, and for people that cancel is 10 million. This really explains what we're doing. Next, we'll go to the last one, which involves our donut charts, which explains the percentage of cancellations. So we'll just add a quick new measure to know the amount, the count of every subscriber on this database. So I just clicked on new measure now. It's going to open a dialog box now. We'll change this one to row count. Change it to like, or just count. You can just use count is equal to, just very simple, count rows, and just add it. There are always like suggestions to even work with, so it's always very easy. It's already building the measure. We have a new column now, which is count. So just click on count and click on cancel. So it's showing as a column chart. We'll just change to a donut chart and drag it to this part because this is where it's meant to be. Then we'll Ctrl C and Ctrl V. So we have another donut chart. Then we'll change from cancelled to subscription type. So this is what we have, and this is what we're working with. So this is for cancelled, right? Then you will just format this one and use our format painter icon to format the second one. So for, we don't want legends because basically what we will be seeing in the legend is what we will be seeing on our details label after editing. So for the slices, we change from the color that is by default to this color because this is what we've been working with lately, and we want consistency with our data. Go to spacing and increase the spacing in the middle so it looks like this. And I want us to do something. Instead of that title showing at the top, I want it to show in the middle of our donut chart. So let's just finish with the details label, outside, data value, and percentage. So we'll just do category and percentage of total. So if you can see for true, which is the people that cancelled, you can see that it's 15,175, which is the same as this cancelled subscription. So we're on the same page and we are not wrong. So if your own is different, just go back and check what you did wrong. So we'll change the values to black and increase the font. So this is what we have. So we know that we cannot add our title to the visual. We cannot just add it like that. It's not possible. What we would do instead is would add a text box, and let's first turn off the title. Let's first turn off the title. So we'll add a text box, and I'll show you guys how I did it or how I'm doing it. So you type cancelled, right? Cancelled. So this is what we'll do, and then turn off the background, and we'll turn off the background and increase the font. So we'll increase the font to 12. The problem with this is you have to be very careful. A mistake with the arrangement and disrupt the whole thing, but it makes the work rate of your dashboard, the look of your dashboard, be more appealing. So that's why we're working with it today. So we've not changed the background for this. So for this one, we've not even made the cancelled bold. So drag it down. The aim is to keep it in the middle of this box, right? So we'll just drag this up. So we'll just drag it up to this point and reduce it. So this is what we are doing. Then we'll just increase this box to this point. So we'll just try to fit it in to this part. So this is what we're trying to achieve, and we're already getting there. So I clicked on this screen. So whenever you want to stop clicking on the visual, just click on the background. So this one will just try to make sure it is centralized in our dashboard, in our visual, and this makes a lot of sense right now. So we'll just come back to our visual that we're working on and format painter on this. We have this one as well now. So we'll just try to fit it into the other side of our visual. So this is what we have for the details label. The percentage, I think we should make the display unit decimal point to 0 so it will show. And for this one as well, we'll do the same thing, drag it up. The reason why the color did not change is because this is the default color. So this one as well, will change it so it makes it look better. Then click on this, the background, and this cancelled. You see it's no more centralized, so I'm trying to make it centralized. So just drag it up, try to fit it into the middle. Instead of this stress, you can just put the title. I'm just trying to do something I've not done before and make it look better. You just drag it to the middle. So for the other charts, we just change the colors, change this one as well to the next one. Then the last, I just use this. I'm trying to change the color from this purple so it will be in the same format of arrangements. The last visual we're adding to this dashboard is the top 5 customers. So we just click on customer name and revenue. So everybody measures customers by how much they bring to the company. So that's why we're using revenue to measure our top 5 customers. So it's showing as a table, right? We come down to this filter icon, the filter pane, and add a filter to the customer names. So open this drop down and open the basic filtering and change from basic filtering to top n. So we just click on top 5 to easily represent our data, and depending on what stakeholders want, but this is a practice data, so top 5 it is. So we drag top the revenue to this part, just double click and drag. So that's what I did, and then apply filter. So it's going to apply the filter for the top 5 customers with the highest revenues. So we drag the table down here. You can always close this filter pane and increase this. We just change from a table to a tree map, and this is what we have. This is what we have. So we can just add their regions, so we'll know the regions that they are from in the details. I feel like this should be bigger. We just format this one, change the title from this one, from what is showing there right now, to top 5 customers. So click on this and type top 5 customers. Change the font. So we need to change this one's title font too, because we want consistency. I don't know why it's showing this one. I think I changed it before, but then see that it's okay. That's changed now. So you can just drag it up so it matches with that. That's this one. So we actually increased this one before, so we'll just reduce it back. Yeah, so we need to change the colors on this tree map. For the data labels, we have to add data labels to it, so we'll know the amount of revenue they brought into the business. So make it bold, and okay, I think that's all we need to do. So we'll increase the font. Everything is showing 3 million, so we can just change the display unit to like 1000. It will still actually show 3000, so I think we should just change the display unit to none, so we'll know the amount each person actually brought into the business. We can add commas to the visuals so it doesn't stir up any confusion with interpreting the revenue they brought into the business. It's already showing the values, and we can see that the top 2 customers are from the east, the third customer, top 3 customers from the south, and the top 4 and 5 customers are from the west. So that's why we added the regions. So next we just change the colors, and I think after changing the colors then we're done with this dashboard. That's why I said the dashboard is very easy to design. So the first one will be the color that we started with initially, or we can just use a color that is actually deeper than the first color. We can use this one as our first color so that it will be progressing. So we add this one next. This is what I was saying. we've exhausted the light colors, I guess. So we just find a way to manipulate what we have. So this color now, we need to change it because it is too bright, it is too light for what we are trying to achieve. So I think this one should be the last. Then this really faded one should come last. So we are like almost done with our dashboard. Lastly, for the category labels, I think we need to make their names bold and increase. We can actually always use something like a bar chart, but I just wanted to use a table. We can use other visuals. We can use this. We can use a bar chart. We can get visuals online, but this design a simple dashboard that will be easy for beginners to create or to design. We have to turn off this background, so we forgot to turn it off, and we just come down to effect and turn on background. The littlest mistake might affect your dashboard, so just pay attention to details. And it is touching our edges, so we need to like do something about it. Just click on it and reduce the length so it doesn't overlap our edges. You don't have to make it really obvious, you can just like reduce it a little bit and fit it in. Let's just increase the shape itself, this shape. So we'll click on the shape and kind of increase the size. Just try to reduce it a little bit more, and then drag this shape to the other side, to the middle. So I think it is better this way now. Our visuals will be able to settle inside. We already have what we want to achieve, so we can just move this one to the middle, to the center of the work, so it doesn't fall to the side. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys are able to design this dashboard from scratch just as well as I did, and I would love you guys to subscribe to this channel, like, and drop a comment if this was helpful to you. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.